Well, labor shortages, of course, are partly to blame for the supply chain and travel issues. Now the Biden administration is bracing for a dismal jobs report tomorrow. Here to sort this out is Geltrude and Company founder Dan Geltrude and Walser Wealth Management CEO Rebecca Walser. Good to see you both. Thanks for being here. Rebecca, first to you, what are you expecting for tomorrow's jobs report?
Well, I'm expecting, because ADP came out yesterday and said that we had a 301,000 loss of jobs, and we were expecting a 207,000 private sector job add. So PNC, I think, is the outlier, saying that they're expecting negative 400,000 jobs lost. But I'm definitely thinking that we're in the 300,000 job loss range based on that ADP report yesterday, David.
Now, of course, Dan, a lot of this has to do with Omicron, and a lot of it is backward looking. Omicron, as we knew because of what happened in South Africa and what happened in the UK, burned very hot very quickly, but it leaves quickly as well. And we just got new unemployment benefits falling less than expected, fewer than expected unemployed in the past couple of weeks. That means that the number we see tomorrow, as bad as it probably will be, may be improving right now as we speak.
Yeah, David, that information, quite frankly, is stale because we already know what happened with Omicron. As you said, it came on strong, and hopefully now it's going away. So let's hope that the market, for example, isn't going to put too much emphasis on this and overreact. I'm hoping, and I think that they already know the numbers are going to be bad, but we have a much rosier picture going forward.
Rebecca, I'm just wondering if the administration, because they telegraphed that it's going to be a bad number from Jen Psaki, I'm wondering if they might try to use those bad numbers tomorrow to justify some kind of emergency spending, some of the stuff that they couldn't get through Congress with the BBB plan. Are you concerned that there may be more federal spending as a result of the bad numbers tomorrow?
Oh, gosh, you said the worst thing to me you could possibly say, David. I mean, more federal spending after $8 trillion printed through Corona of 2020, last 22 months, 7% year-over-year inflation, the worst in 40 years. Federal spending is not the solution. And if we haven't learned that lesson, we need to get people back to work, David. People have got to go back to work. Where are the 11 million job openings? Where are the people to take them? We have lost millions of people, workers, labor participation. It's the same, I know, but where are these people going? They're not working. We have too many job openings. I have never had such a hard time hiring employees. This is outrageous for employers. And federal spending is not the answer. Let's do something to get people back to work.
I'm laughing because I really hit a nerve with you. I love your passion on this subject. And Dan, I know you're passionate as well about it because no matter what the number is tomorrow, we're still stuck with inflation. I mean, the administration for months, they were saying it was transitory. Then they were saying it's de-accelerating. No, it's accelerating. The wholesale prices are double digit. That is going to be passed on to retailers and to consumers. So it is going to get worse as the year goes on. No?
Yes, it is, David. And I'll tell you why is because this inflation, although you can blame the virus, okay, that's what started, it is our policy reaction that's causing the inflation. Look, it's very simple. Get rid of the mandates, get people back to work. As Rebecca said, that will equalize supply and demand. And you know what? Inflation will start to come down. But policies aren't changing. So as you just said, I think that we're going to be in this inflationary period for quite some time because we keep doing the same thing over and over, and we get the same result.
And Rebecca, we're exacerbating the problem. I mean, the spending is not only causing more inflation, it's extending the period with which people do stay at home and don't get out into the labor market. And that's killing, by the way, it's not killing the big guys, the Amazons and the others. They can afford to spend $20, $30 an hour for labor. Small companies can't do that.
That's right. That's right. You're 100% right, Data. If we have learned any lessons, it is we don't shut down without having more data on our side, and we certainly don't overstimulate and let a Federal Reserve Chairman go out there and use the word transitory when they have absolutely, it's just not, it was not true. It was not transitory. It was setting us up for massive inflation and supply chain crises, and we have to do things differently. We cannot do things the same way. We'll just get more of the same, and we want to get out of this, not go back into it.
Rebecca, I want to stick with you for a second and talk about Facebook, because this 25% drop. It's now 26% to the downside on Facebook. Is that going to affect the entire market? I mean, clearly it's dragging the market down today. Is that indicative of what's to come for tech?
You know, David, after hours trading yesterday, Twitter and Snapchat, everything down. It's really class bias, right? What's happening is investors are awakening to the fact that people will leave a platform, that their loyalty doesn't only last for so long. And I don't know all the reasons at Facebook. We can speculate and say it's the censorship and it's the labels, and people are getting sick of being told, you know, this isn't true and blah, blah, blah. And they're not to be the arbiter of truth, you know. But there's a lot of new media. TikTok, specifically Zuckerberg, called out and said, hey, it's the short videos on TikTok that's killing us. We're really going to focus on Instagram Reels. But let's face it, you know, Facebook has decided to go into the direction of Meta, the Meta universe. Zuckerberg describes it as not logging into Facebook, but logging into a universe where you'll do a bunch of different things in the virtual reality world. And, you know, that is a long-term play, David. And so we're going to see this impact the big tech sector, and people are going to have to start to second guess these new technologies, because it's going to be a long haul.
Well, and Dan, Rebecca brought out a great point. It is not reality. It is virtual. And a lot of people are questioning whether they really have 1,000 friends on Facebook. I mean, are they really your friends? I mean, I think reality is beginning to hit people in a way. Perhaps it's because we're coming out of the pandemic and people can't live in that virtual world anymore. What do you think?
Well, we may think that way, David, but I got to tell you, these young people who are literally glued to their computers and playing all these games, I'm not sure they actually know the difference anymore between reality and this alternate way of living. So although, you know, some of us more mature people may not get it, I'm not so sure that the metaverse isn't going to be the future, with so many people, young people, that are absolutely taken with this alternative reality.
Yeah. At some time, you have to deal with reality, though. When the money dries up and that government money is not going to continue forever, it doesn't grow on trees. I'm sorry, it's not free. And eventually it will dry up. With a $30 trillion debt, you bet it's going to dry up. And it's going to dry up while we have inflation. And that is going to be a slap in the face by reality. So that I think will be waking people up. I think it's already beginning to do that. Dan, Rebecca, great to see you both. You're terrific. Thanks very much for being here. Well,